Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to the landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 90s. I'm your overly serious dear scientist father, Dylan.
And I'm your heavy-set neighbor who just wants to explore a little bit. My name's Travis. The heavy-set neighbor had a raspy, hoarse voice.
Yeah. I'm gonna insert a little thing right here and say, the moment Will was described, did you assume he was the werewolf?
He was described as a werewolf, so...
No. I mean, when Will is introduced into the book...
I know. They were like, he's hoarse, and he's got thick neck and brown hair. He's scruffy. He barks at the moon. He's got claws.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're both on the same page there with how surprised we weren't.
Yeah. Let's spoil it out of the gate.
We're not surprised.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's because it's
werewolves.
Today we have number 14 in the series, which we have spoiled for you, does have werewolves. What we haven't spoiled is that those werewolves are in fact in Fever Swamp, because we're reading The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Actually, it's not multiple werewolves. It's werewolf. And it was released in December of 1993. I'm going to assume that you have lots of swamp stories, being a good old Southern boy.
Yeah, no, I wish I did. I do. I will say this, though. I see swamps so infrequently where I live that whenever I see a swamp, I always say out loud, that'd be a good place to hide a body. And it unnerves everybody. But I'm just so surprised by swamps, how they're just not filled with bodies, and I'm sure they are.
I have always wanted to go to a swamp as a child. I know this is a surprise to anyone who's made it this far in the podcast to find out that I really wanted to go to a swamp as a boy. Part of it was the fact that in North Carolina, as you, I'm sure, well know, the Venus flytrap is a native plant species there. And in fact, it's the only place in the world where the Venus flytrap naturally and natively occurs is in the swamps of North Carolina.
I did not know that.
And I was very excited and wanted to go to the swamps. I did not, so very sad there. I did finally get a chance to go to a swamp about a year or two ago. I went to, we stopped by the Great Dismal Swamp, got out of the car, were immediately attacked by so many mosquitoes. So many. And Travis, you know I grew up in North Carolina.
Yeah, you've mentioned
I know what mosquitoes are. I've been bitten by them many times. I'm not easily scared off by mosquitoes. There were too many. We got into the car and just watched as the car rocked from side to side as just waves of mosquitoes slammed against each side. And we got out of there.
That's like Jurassic Park.
It was horrifying. There's only one other time I've been ever that covered in bugs. There's only 4 other times I was that covered in bugs, and been so unhappy about it. 3 other times. Sorry.
I got it. I'm keeping count.
Yeah.
These will unveil, I'm sure, as the podcast continues.
Yes, actually, when we get to the bee one, I'll have a bee story to go along that. When I was swarmed by bees. Actually, yellow jackets, not bees.
Sure, there is a difference. I make sure to point that out as I'm being stung a lot.
Yellow jackets have smooth bore stingers, so they can sting you over and over and over again, unlike the common honeybee. And they're also incredibly aggressive, and they also live in the ground, which is important.
Oh, they sure
narrative.
do. Yeah, I can't wait till that one. Let's look ahead, see if there's 2 B episodes. That way we can split our best stories up.
It's going to be episode 17.
All right. Okay.
Episode 17. Why I'm Afraid of Bees.
All right.
True story by Dylan Charles, and also a fiction story by R.L. Stine. So that'll be exciting. That we are just rambling. Let's move along.
No, we're not. I have a hermit. Not a story, unfortunately, but we had a hermit when I was growing up. Listen to this. This is crazy. This is storybook stuff. Where I lived, over behind the hill, there's like, you go through the forest, there's not even a trail or a walkway or a gravel driveway or anything. It's just, he lived on the other side of the woods, and in like a shack, and he was hunchback, and he would always walk around with a stick and basically just collect aluminum cans everywhere. So he's actually kind of doing a nice thing. But boy, was he creepy. And no one really knew his name, so they just called him Stick because of said stick. So there's an old man in the woods called Stick, hermit. That's
amazing. And that's funny because you've described 30 guys I see on the street in the city, and we just call them homeless people. So I guess if you do the same thing out in the woods, you can get called a cool name.
Yeah,
like
you could be called
hermit.
Stick. Yeah.
And be a hermit instead of being like target for police brutality. Anyway, moving along.
Yeah, we didn't beat him up or anything. We actually thought he was cool. We were like, oh, whoa, check it out, Stick. If we had like smartphones, we'd be getting selfies with Stick. We might have even invented the selfie stick.
We did have a gentleman who I no longer take that particular bus route, who used to take the bus. He looked like Abraham Lincoln in terms of like height, in terms of like the beard he had, like just a big old chin strap beard, tall, angular looking man.
Please continue to describe Abraham Lincoln.
No, this homeless man. I'm describing a homeless. There was no stovepipe hat. There was just a regular.
That was just the shape of his head. His skull was actually shaped.
I honestly,
like
I think he did that himself. Huh. But he also always carried around a bag on a stick, just like a hobo from a 1930s, like
Winnie the Pooh, like Christopher Robin.
Yeah, exactly. So we called him Hobo Abe Lincoln, and
Hobo Abe Lincoln.
I hope he's still around. But
how long ago was this?
5 years ago, probably at this point.
Oh, no chance. No chance. Yeah. All right.
Guess he probably met up with Hobo John Wilkes Booth, so. I can tell you're high because you thought that was hilarious.
I laughed because I felt like that was like a whole setup, and I felt like I fell into it. I felt like I fell into a sticky trap.
What's even more depressing and sad, that was not a trap. I came up with that on the spot, sir.
That's somehow less funny.
I covered up a bad story with, right? No, it's just like, haha, I'm going to get you with this on target. But what about werewolves, my friend? How do you feel about werewolves? Because I feel like this is the point where I need to talk about the fact that as a child and as an adult, the werewolves are my favorite. Why did it get so dark in your office? It is like you have dramatic lighting going on, and you're just like, don't. I
was setting the mood. I was like, I was going to talk about werewolves. Turn the lights down. That's on me.
I love werewolf stories so much. So I was very excited to see a Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Like, I love all kinds of werewolf lore and legends. I'm actually getting into werewolf lore and legends right now. I keep touching the microphone. Like I said, I wouldn't hit the microphone. I'm reaching out and gently stroking it while I'm talking to you, as if this is acceptable, as if this is a good compromise between me not being like, meh, 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 instead just being like,
Travis, do you like the way that I'm doing this?
That does explain why you rub my neck when we talk in person, but that's okay.
A lot. Like I love Ginger Snaps and Dog Soldiers, which is directed by Neil Marshall. The same director for The Descent, which I'm assuming you've seen.
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah, it's incredible.
So Dog Soldiers is about soldiers fighting werewolves and is amazing.
That does sound neat.
It's because it's kind of a smaller scale. Imagine the movie Aliens, but with werewolves. And there you go.
Didn't I? You say you're getting into werewolf lore, but I felt like you were pretty into it. Like you getting back into it? Because I remember one of the first times that around the time I actually started interacting with you, you went to some all-night werewolf movie marathon, and I assumed a man that would do that was already steadfast into the werewolves.
Oh, I mean going into the deep lore, like the folklore, the stuff from before Hollywood got involved, because those types of werewolves are a whole different beast. Like the idea of a werewolf being a curse and like transferred by bite, that I feel like that's a more modern invention to make it something more tragical and sad, like in
right.
The Wolfman with
and kind of predictable too, like zombies. Like it's got to spread a way.
Yeah. But in ye olden days, at least what I do know about folklore about werewolves is it was more of a choice. You were like a witch or a shaman or something, and a wide variety of different cultures had their own kind of like, you're a witch doctor, you had no magic, so you can change into animals or an animal or something like that. So generally speaking, it was someone who was just like, I would really like to be a fucking wolf and just like cause carnage. And that makes a lot more sense to me than someone just being constantly like, no, the change. Like, if you're that upset about it, do fucking something about it. But
right.
most werewolves in the old stories, it seems like, are people who are just like, no. Do you want to know this thing I can fucking do? It's amazing. And there's other things you can do while you're a wolf that I'm not going to talk to you until you've tried it, because otherwise you're going to give me a weird face. So let's go. And you're like, sounds like you're fucking as a wolf.
Guess what? People don't frown on it. If you are a dog, when you're doing another dog. It's nice.
It's like, wait. You said wolves before, now you're saying dogs. Yeah, I actually turn into like a beagle kind of thing. It's still pretty exhilarating, though. You run along, you bark at things. Everybody loves, you get lots of pets, and you can fuck other dogs. Like, I feel like you became a were-dog to fuck other dogs. It's like, yeah, a little bit.
I like the idea that he can change into a werewolf, but he doesn't want to admit it because he doesn't want to upset people. But he still wants to brag that he can change into something. So he's like, I can change into it's kind of a dog thing. It's like a meaner Labrador Retriever. Don't worry about it. It's not a werewolf or anything like that. It's just showing a house dog.
It's pretty cool. Like, let me show you my fangs. Like, they're small fangs though. Like, he changes. He just tries to change like a little bit, right. Just a little bit, not to scare them. I was like, that. Whoa, buddy, that seems a little much. And he's like, no. It's like a poodle, like a standard poodle. They're big dogs.
Yeah. Maybe a little, like a pit poodle.
Yeah. Like maybe like a wolf hybrid with like a Balto, just like Balto. Everyone loves Balto.
Oh,
he like a husky and a wolf, and like maybe more less like Balto and more like just a wolf.
Get him! And then that character stabbed.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate your werewolf interest. Hopefully it comes into play today. You can tell me how R.L. Stine got this lore incorrect. Can't wait for that. But Tim Jacobus drew up a good wolf.
He did. So if we're gonna get into the cover talk here,
I thought we might.
And I'm picking up what you're laying down because you brought up the cover. I'm gonna say I'm not. It's a little plain.
You think?
For the first werewolf book in the series, I'm sure there's more, because there's the other one, my best friend's account werewolf or whatever. What's it called? There's another book in the series. It's about werewolves. It's like My Friend's a Dog or some shit like that.
My other wolf is a straight A student, I think.
Yeah. But Fever Swamp over here, it looks just like a wolf. And I understand that the point is your child that turns into a wolf. Usually they don't look like the wolf man where they're half wolf and half man or whatever. You literally just look like a dog with bigger fangs and longer hair. But I don't know. And I understand there's the kid's clothes next to it. It's a very well rendered. I might just be a little too like, I just wish it was more than that. Like something.
Right, because you need something like maybe human about it, like maybe a mid-transformation, something to make it creepy.
And I feel like Animorphs had come out by now, so like the half-human, half-animal thing should be more acceptable on a children's book cover, but I don't know.
Well, I'll say I do like it, but I think it's because I don't know about last couple. The last one kind of underwhelmed me. Actually, yeah, the last couple did. Piano Lessons Can Be Murder and Be Careful What You Wish For. And even The Haunted Mask, to an extent, didn't do a lot for me. And this is one where it seemed like Jacob has had more than a weekend to work on it, so he added a lot of good detail, and I do like the clothes, and I kind of like that the water looks like toxic. But yeah, I could see the wolf maybe being a little too by the numbers, not creepy enough.
I mean, it's fine. I looked it up. Animorphs didn't come out till 1996, so 3 years. Not 3 hours, 3 years after this book came out in books.
Thanks for doing that research.
I think I just had a bigger expectations. It looks like a wolf that's howling. I'm not too scared of wolves either myself.
Sure.
I don't know about you. You live in an area that's constantly haunted by wolves, basically, like real wolves. Like children are dragged off on the streets, off their bicycles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, it is. It's oh, is it rough? Yeah. But I'll tell you what else is rough. This goddamn British. What is... have you seen the wolf on this thing? Would you call that a wolf, or is that a silly puppy dog? That's a silly boy.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't looked at it yet. I can't keep doing this to myself. I really can't. My doctor said that if I...
But I'm going to tell you, though, it looks like a young... Man, I don't even know. But it does look like Macaulay Culkin was hit over the... Actually, it looks like the dog and Macaulay Culkin were both hit by a bus.
What the fuck is this? That's not even a wolf. Is that a Tasmanian wolf? Like, what the fuck is all the striping on this shit? Is that what wolves look like in England land? Like, what is this? And who is this person? What is happening? I don't understand what is happening. This is horrible. It just
upsetting.
makes me sad every time we record one of these. This is breaking me in my core. I need another 3-month break if you keep showing me this shit, man.
You know what pleases me the most? They got a nice gradation of Jell-O color in the back this time.
Why? Why?
A little bit of a rainbow.
Maybe it's part of the transformation. Like they're signifying transformation. I am upset with this smirking motherfucker. No one acts like this in the entire book. Like, none of the children are actually smirky assholes, which is funny. Like, all the children actually seem pretty cool.
Yeah, and you'll notice, I don't know if you've focused hard enough yet to notice this, but you'll notice one of his wolf ears is still there. It's like he's in mid-transformation. So is he doing one of those things where he's like shaking his head really fast and we're seeing a still frame of him changing?
I don't know. It's pretty dumb that's the feature, because it's just literally a normal boy's head or Christian Slater's head from Heathers. Like, it looks like...
There you go.
Like, or maybe Val Kilmer from, like, Real Geniuses? I don't know. Like...
Yeah, Val Kilmer with a Bieber cut.
Matthew Broderick from War Games. Like, I don't know. But, like... Why does he have 2 ears on that side?
Right.
He's got a wolf ear sticking out of his ear and a human ear sticking out of his face, like he's supposed to. But, like, why wouldn't his ear be what's changed? It's like he's just grown in wolf ear, just like that mouse that has the... Oh my god, I'm like a Family Guy episode. Every other line has been a reference to something else. But anyway, that mouse that they grew a human ear on the back of. Remember that thing in the early 2000s? Oh my god. I hate it. I always hate it. I have never even wanted to give them props before. Like, there's never been a chance where I've been happy about this. And I'm sorry, artist, whoever made this. I've never looked it up because I know I won't be able to be truly as mean as I have been about these covers if I know a real human being. I assume like a machine made these, because only a machine could have gotten it this badly. Yes.
Early AI made these things. Ugh, man. They are disgusting.
The shadow doesn't even have the right number of teeth. Moving on. Let's just...
You want a French right now? Let's French.
Let's go French.
I do like that Slim Shady's...
love it.
Yeah, Slim Shady's being scared by the wolf beast from Neverending Story.
It is that dog is...
That's a big dog.
That is a big dog. That dog is larger than that whole family. That child is doomed. Like, that is a child that is about to be crimed against by that dog.
Yeah, there is a kid wearing a white t-shirt with blonde hair. I mean, that's a young Marshall Mathers if I've ever seen one. And then, yeah, a giant animatronic dog with red eyes in a cornfield.
All black
dog.
It's amazing.
Then the Dutch come at us with 2 covers. I love it when the Dutch get feisty, man. They get ambitious. You get a lot of variety. We've got what is it? An Ewok? Is that an Ewok coming up from the south?
Whew, it is a goofy looking werewolf. It does look like someone bought an Ewok mask and decided to put some fangs in it and be like, this is scary. And like, they only got enough money for one wolf paw. And that's all you see is just one big wolf paw.
It's got to be
Ewok.
A super long leg, given the perspective there. Man. So the Dutch are wild. The Dutch gave us 2 covers. They have another one that's completely different. It's just like a set of wild animal eyes. It actually looks like a portrait or a photo. And
this does look like a bad screen printed T-shirt.
Yeah,
like that. Like this is 2 wolves short of 3 wolves howling at the moon shirt.
Yes,
like, it's just
maybe it fits with like a album cover from the late 90s or something. I don't know.
Yeah, this is not a good album.
No.
Like maybe Creed's 6th album that's like about the wolf that's in all of us. Like, it's not a good album.
Back at the moon. So then Korea comes to rescue us all. Right?
I love Korea.
Korea has what I'm just imagining is a kaiju. Kind of taken on that pose.
It does have like a very like... Oh, but look at the ghost faces. I just noticed like...
There's ghost faces? What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's faces. So
I do see one. Yeah, under his elbow.
Right? So there's one under his elbow, but there's a couple of other faces in there too. Like if you look in the far left, there's like an angry guy looking straight at the camera. See him?
Wait, what?
He looks mad. Right there. He's with like it's a line of faces basically.
Oh,
underneath and you can see their hands. Like that's their hands like kind of reaching up to ward off the wolf.
Yeah, what the fuck? I see it now.
All
those
when
people
Korea comes to play, man. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just not seeing all that. So that one's layered. Folks, you'll have to look at that one yourself. And then lastly, never leastly usually, Indonesia.
This is my favorite.
Really?
I was telling you, I said before we started recording, I would have this as a print on my wall. I love this one.
Man, have a nice, circular sort of feel. Yeah, I like the snout on it. For some reason, it looks different enough to where they just didn't try to draw a wolf. They added something to it to make it especially
hands too.
Yeah,
those. And the swamp background around it, like it's almost abstract, heavily stylized, but it's really cool. I really like it.
They do a lot of angular things with their covers. So
you know what it feels like too, because it's definitely like some sort of watercolor or whatever, but it also feels like that like construction paper kind of thing. So like how clean the lines are,
like it's chalk or something.
For like it almost feels like cutouts. So yeah, like, oh yeah, maybe like that. But no, I like the Indonesian cover.
Yeah,
these are cool.
Yeah, that one and the Korean one for me are the best of the international bunch. I still like Jacobus's, but Indonesia was stylish enough that it might take preference actually. All right, well that's it for cover art, folks. If you don't like that, just go look at it yourself.
Enjoy it that way. Yeah. I do. I'm going to keep thinking about it. Not since the Steintiglers have I wanted to buy art from someone so much.
Oh yeah.
I think she did the cover for the most recent Steintiglers. There's a new Steintiglers coming out playing too. I think she did the cover for that one too because it looks very similar to the first one. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, what's her name again? Let's shout her out one more time.
Yeah, let's do that. Give me 1 second. I have the book right here. Right on my shelf. And cover credits go to Marcela Bolivar.
Oh, that's right, yes. Was it Tropical Gloom? Is that the Instagram?
So. Why do you keep asking me questions?
Sorry, I could have done that. I got it. Tropical Gloom, I think. Yeah, it is Tropical Gloom.
I know some of our listeners even bought one of our listeners. It was Pam. Pam bought art.
Wait, Pam's a listener? Holy shit! Hey, Pam.
She does listen. Hi, Pam. But yeah, now that we're done talking about covers and promoting not even the artists that did this week's cover, let's talk about what's between those covers.
Yeah.
Do you know what's between those covers? Because I actually don't. I didn't read the book this week.
Oh, it's the book. You didn't read the book? You gotta read the book.
Oh, you didn't say that when we started doing this. I'm just kidding. I read the book, and to prove it, let's talk about chapter 1.
Alrighty then.
So we have. This is the second book in a row now where we've got kids moving. We're introduced to Grady. And I kind of like how Grady starts the story. It's very similar to one of the earlier books, too. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was, though, where he's talking about the events like they're in the past. Like, he's like, we moved here. This is when we first started hearing about the legend of Ever Swamp. Like, there's a little bit of like, oh, we're clear that, like, we're being told this story from a future point, which circles back to what happens.
Yeah, I think it was Let's Get Invisible, I think was the one you were thinking of.
Yeah. And this does circle back to the end of the book, which is amazing. So you have a foursome family, no pets, 6 deer, but you've got Grady, who is the hero of our story. Grady is your normal 12-year-old R.L. Stein character, takes after the dad, brown hair, little chunky. He throws that on at the end, though. He's just like, little chunky. He has one sister. Her name's Emily, which is weird for me because that's my wife's name. So just reading her name throughout this whole thing, just weird. I got through it, though.
That's good because it's a common name.
I know. But she's 16, so a little older than some of the other siblings.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of like older siblings, and she also isn't an asshole, which is nice too.
Yeah, she's just typical. Yeah.
Yeah, she shows up, throws some wrenches into the works, helps the guy out a few times, but it's just, for the most part, she's not really that big of a presence, I feel like. But we find out she has a boyfriend named Martin that she left behind in Burlington, Vermont, because that's where they're from. They moved down to Florida from Burlington, Vermont, because Dad, Michael F. Tucker, I don't know if we've gotten all three names like that before. Like
full name. Actually, that was a trivia thing. This is the first time that we get a full parent name.
Oh, good to know. But so Michael F. Tucker is a scientist, a deer scientist specifically.
Yes, not a dear old scientist, but in fact, a deer scientist.
All right, Burger.
I'm a dear old scientist. Just a dear old scientist, you know what I mean?
Anyway, these are swamp deer, which I believe are actually a real species of deer that do have webbed hooves. It's pretty interesting.
I was curious about that because it sounded made up.
I mean, I'll look it up during one of your chapters, but I'm pretty sure swamp deer are a real thing. They're moving these deer from South America, relocated them to see if they'll survive in the wilderness of Florida, because you know what's a great idea? Moving a species from one location to another location and seeing if it'll work out. It doesn't. It never works out. You know what happens? Kudzu, rabbits in Australia. Like, this is just European starlings in North America. Just stop it, deer scientists. We don't need swamp deer in Florida. We got enough problems in Florida. We don't need swamp deer.
Swamp deer do exist. They're known as the Barasinga. And they are actually, I guess, in the Indian continent, mostly. So, interesting that these were from South America, but, you know.
Well, you're not going to want to go all the way to India if you can just go down to South America, right?
Well, it doesn't say there are any in South America.
Well, maybe you're not doing enough Googling right now. So, they've all been moved. We don't really get the whole, like, I need to pick this room. Like, they've kind of already settled in. The deer are in their pen. Everyone's got in their rooms. Emily didn't want to move. Yada, yada, yada. Grady, he wants to go out and explore the swamp. He says he takes after his dad more. Also, the mom's a scientist, too. That's just kind of thrown in there. It's like, Dad's the main scientist, but Mom's kind of like the backup scientist who doesn't have her own career.
Come on, it's 1993.
Come on.
I think they could vote by then, right?
Not really, actually.
Okay.
Are you talking about deer scientists or women?
I was talking about deer.
No, deer can't vote. We've talked about this. Like, stop getting the deer vote. So, apparently they only get mail like twice a week, which I feel like is a federal crime. Like, I don't think you can live anywhere far enough outwards twice a week.
Ted Kaczynski? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, and there's...
Even he got mail every day.
Like, I know people who, like, live, like, way far out, and they get mail every day. Like, and they have like 6 other people on their street. I don't know how far out they are. Although Dad does have to, like, drive to town, which sounds like a bit of a hike. But they also sound like they're on a residential road.
Yeah, there's multiple houses. There's a neighborhood.
Yeah. But apparently, I guess that road that neighborhood is just those 6 houses in the middle of the swamp. Also, there's a hermit. Grady really wants Emily to come with him because I guess they kind of like hanging out. I don't really know what his impetus is. I think maybe because like he's scared to go by himself.
I think he makes that point.
He just wants some companionship. So he manages to talk. He doesn't. His dad manages to tell her to go on a walk into the swamps with Grady, which she doesn't want to do because it's a swamp and it's the middle of summer. It's hot and sticky and gross. And I kind of get it as an adult, but as a 12-year-old boy, I'd also be like, let's get in that swamp.
Let's get in the swamp.
So they go into the swamp. That's it. There's no... I can't do a bum for that.
Do it.
Bum.
I did kick my feet just now. My feet aren't touching the floor in this chair. So they get the walking. They get the walking through the swamp. Swamping around, taking in the sights, and they must walk for a bit. They walk past clusters of trees and things that, kind of stand out as landmarks, I guess. But then it all starts to kind of run together, and they see the same stuff over and over again. They hear taking in the sounds, birds, insects, a lot of mud. And then Emily starts to complain. She's like, Grady, there's gnats, and it's so hot. Ew, I want to go back home to Mom and Pa. And Grady's like, how about we just keep walking, sis? This probably loops or some shit. Quit being a wiener, stuff like that. And then, look down. Looks like mud. What? But she's sinking. Is it quicksand? What the fuck? I thought quicksand was a myth. Then suddenly, Grady pushed from behind. Out in the middle of the woods. Who could have done that?
Are you actually not going to do the bump, bump, bump?
Dumb. I thought, do on to others.
Well, this was an actual cliffhanger. Mine was just like, but I don't want to go on a hike into the swamp. You need to go on a hike in the swamp with your brother. Bump, bump, bump. Like that's, I mean, if she was the main character of the story, I could see that being a pretty good cliff. Oh no! Like if it was Babysitter's Club or something. I don't know. One of them chick books. I'm just going to go heavy on the misogyny this week. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of misogyny, guess who did it? It was Emily, goofing, apparently, trying to push her brother into quicksand. I will say, she does grab him before he goes in. Like, she clearly was just like, I'm not actually going to make it. Because it's not actually quicksand. It's a green peat bog. And we learn more about peat bogs than you might want to know. But I do love peat bogs. But I'm not going to use her explanation because I don't trust a book. Because they're marsh deer. Or what are in South America, apparently. It's marsh deer, not swamp deer. So, to be fair, Google didn't exist in 1993, but the Discovery Channel did. So, they're walking through the woods. Emily sees some birds. She's like, falcons. Maybe. I'm not sure. I probably shouldn't have said anything. They keep walking, and then they realized
they're a little bit lost. Bum, bum, bum.
I don't believe this, Emily said. She was so upset. She couldn't believe that they were lost in this place that they'd been walking around in that was completely foreign to them for probably hours. Man. Now they got to figure out a way to get out, right? So they're thinking about all their little survival tips they've ever heard in their life. They don't have many. First thing is she asks Grady, you carry a compass or something, right? He's like, yeah, when I was 4.
I like how he did say that as if, like, only babies carry compasses into the woods with them. It's like, no, people who don't want to get lost. Yeah.
Only babies and Lewis and Clark. Those are the only 3 people.
Have you ever seen that viral tweet that was like, you see all these grown-ass men walking out here with umbrellas, and then someone responds like, are you supposed to be waterproof when you grow up? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, just like that.
Just like that. So, yeah, I mean, I had one of those plastic Rambo knives when I was a kid that had a compass in the base, and that was the only compass I had for a good number of years.
I have multiple compasses just scattered around. None of them. I shouldn't talk about things not looking at the microphone. You'd think I know that by now, but I know not to hit the microphone now. That's the level I'm at. Don't hit the microphone, but you still need to talk into it. Oh boy.
Well, the other thing that they thought about, they're like, moss. Yeah, that grows on like a side of a tree, right? They're like, yeah. Which one is it? Is it north? No, I think it's east. Or is it not south? Well, it could be west. Like how? They realize they have no idea what side. Lichen, I guess, would be the technical term, but they refer to it as moss. And I think he actually says, like, I don't even know if it is moss. So they have no idea what they're doing. They decide, okay, let's find some elevation. See if we can get a hilltop so we can see. Yeah? That'd be good. Get a good view. But there's, they don't know where the hill is. That's a problem. So M decides, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to pick a direction and walk. And Grady's like, oh, okay. And they do. And they get to the bog again, that place where they were sinking earlier. They made a complete circle, which is kind of a relief. They're a little less lost now, I guess, maybe. They made no progress. But then, as Grady's sort of weighing this all in, being like, oh shit, are we lost? I think we are still. Something reaches up, grabs Grady by his old Grady ankle. What? Down, down, down.
Is Grady?
I told you I was high. Don't make faces.
Is Grady ankle?
His name's Grady. He's got an ankle.
That's true. Grady's got a mouthful of blood. He's on the ground spitting, wondering what it is that grabbed him. It was a tree root, and the blood. This was the part. This is what really I had a lot of trouble with. He was like, "Where'd this blood come from?" It's like, dude, seriously? Like, literally, there's a sentence in there where he's like, "Where'd this blood come?" Oh, I bit my lip. It's like, yeah, dude, come on. Like, what the fuck you think? There's like 3 options. You bit your lip, your tongue, and the inside of your cheek.
Yeah.
Unless you really
or someone poured blood into your mouth.
Yeah. Or you bit a rat on the way down. Like, what happened, buddy? So then they start walking, and really this whole chapter is kind of I have a problem with. Just have them get lost once and stretch that chapter out. Don't have 2 sections where they're just like, we're not lost. Fuck, we're lost again. Like, it makes them seem
that's why the
like,
end of my chapter was confusing, because I was like, did they get lost again? I'm gonna lean in. I'm gonna say they got lost again.
Yeah, they did. 100%. And so they're lost again, and they see like these really giant mushrooms, which is
that stuck out to me, which ended up
not
meaning nothing.
Off, but I mean, it's Fever Swamp. I mean, where'd that fever come from? Then they find a shack, like I'm assuming I was gonna say a handmade shack, but how the fuck do you make? No, this one was constructed via robots for this hermit. Just but there's ashes, there's used tin cans, there's boots. Like, it's clearly someone lives here and is still living here. And Grady's just like, you know what? Let's see if they can give us directions out of this swamp. They clearly live here. And it's like, Grady, you're gonna get murdered. The last time someone did that, it was Jason Voorhees' house, and they're dead now. Sir.
So dead. Except for maybe one woman.
Mm-hmm. Each
time.
Well.
Until 4. Did I just make you proud?
So, to the listeners, I'm literally in the middle of editing an episode where Travis badly gets that wrong.
Oh, I did?
Badly. And I'm so upset at you in that episode, which...
Well, what did I say?
You were like, Freddy 4? And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Oh.
Yeah, you were all over the place with the 4th movie. And you didn't even remember Tommy's name. It was... Oh. It hurt my head. And to the viewers at home, listeners, while this seems like this is 2 episodes ago that he made this terrible error, it was actually 7 months between those 2 episodes. So there's some growth here. I appreciate it.
There's a reason I don't remember, and Dylan, who's editing that now, does.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You just...
Me too. Shit.
Oh, God. But then... I don't remember who it is, if it's Grady or Emily, who's like, hey, maybe criminals live here, which is a good thing. Like, even if you're not talking like, what's that movie that you like so much with the children who find the ship? The Goonies.
Oh, God.
What's the criminal organization called in that?
The Fratellis.
The Fratelli. Like, you might not expect to see them living out there. But, like, you know, a meth lab, yeah, sure. Like, this is a bad scene. But they decide...
The older I get, the more I realize that guys that live in shacks, they're not living the libertarian dream. Those guys are hiding from police.
Oh, yeah. But they decide after being lost for 10 minutes that this is dire enough that they need to risk a meth lab trespass and just...
Yeah. I would never.
Grady calls out, anybody home? And reaches for the doorknob. Bump, bump. Actually, honestly, genuinely terrifying to me. I would never go near a fucking lived-in shack in the middle of the woods being like, hey, do you have any? Oh, you're going to kill me now. And probably doing some other stuff first. Like, that's...
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, because they've been lost twice to where they feel helpless. I do wonder how resistant I would be to, like, wanting to talk to an adult, assuming an adult would help me as a kid. Because as a kid, you're pretty naive. Your first thought's probably like, they'll help me. Your second thought might be, they might try to kill me, but I'm fast, I'm spry, I'm young.
Yeah. And hopefully these two children's their main experience in life has not been one of tragedy and terrifyingness, and so they are naive and dumb.
Yeah.
But bum.
Okay, I'm going to read a bit. Just as I was about to pull open the crude wooden door, it swung out, nearly hitting us both. We leaped back as a man burst from out the dark room. What? Is it leapt or leaped?
Leapt.
We leapt back as a man burst out from the dark doorway of the hut. He glared at us with wild black eyes. He had long, gray-white hair down past his shoulders, tied behind him in a loose ponytail. His name? Gandalf. Just kidding. His face was bright red, sunburned, maybe. Or maybe red from anger. He stared at us with a menacing scowl. Standing bent over, stooped from being inside the low hut. He wore a loose-fitting white t-shirt, dirt-stained and wrinkled over heavy black trousers that bagged over his sandals. As he glared at us with these amazing black eyes, his mouth opened, revealing rows of jagged yellow teeth. Oh my God, he sounds like a fucking werewolf. That's gotta be... End it. We're 20 pages in. We've met the werewolf.
We're gonna see more characters. Don't assume so fast.
We've met the werewolf of Fever Swamp already.
No.
But Grady's like, okay, well, he's just ugly. And he's like, I wanted to ask him, who are you? Why you live here? As kids get curious and they just want to ask adults things that have answers like, because I got addicted to heroin and everybody that I love left me, That's the answer you're probably going to get, kid. Maybe don't ask the question. But anyway, he says nothing. And Emily goes, sorry? And then they both turn and run. Good instincts. Sorry. Sprint. Smart move. Yeah. And as they're running away, Grady does one of those over-his-shoulder checks being like, yeah, we're probably creating some separation, being that we're young, spry teenagers, and that's a crusty old shed hooligan. And but nope, he's right behind him. He's giving chase. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, so they lose him.
Oh, shit. I thought that was going to be something.
Well, I mean, they can't get caught immediately. We're only at chapter 7, so...
Yeah, we've already met the werewolf, and if they get caught now, it's over.
But they make it back up. No. Okay, you need to... No, don't jump to conclusions. Don't jump to werewolves. So, They make it back home. They tell their parents about their little trip to the swamp. We saw a crane. Saw some maybe falcons. Emily, shut up. You don't know what they were. Just yap, yap, yap. Then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we also got chased by this strange old man who lives in the shed in the swamp. And Dad's just like, oh yeah, there's a swamp hermit. And that for the rest of the book, that's what he's referred to as a swamp hermit, as if that's a thing. That's a thing you can aspire to be, is a swamp hermit.
I love it. Swamp deer, swamp hermit.
I'm on it.
Swamp ass.
I would love to be a swamp hermit, and assuming there's no mosquitoes there. Like, is this a place that doesn't have mosquitoes? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No, I'm asking you right now, and in a very aggressive manner. But Dad is just like, he's harmless. It's like, he seems really, really laid back about that there's a strange swamp hermit who lives 10 feet from his door, basically, and upset your children. I feel like a little more digging is needed here, but no one knows who this swamp hermit's name is. No one knows what he wants, just that he's harmless and never done hurt nobody. Emily's upset. She's itchy. She's covered in bug bites. She's just meh. I hate swamps. Where's Martin? I want my Martin back. I love Martin Short. Grady's a little more helpful. There's a couple times where you see Grady like actually helping out his parents and stuff, where like the dad's trying to get an umbrella into that table on the back porch, and Grady gets under there and helps him seat it properly. And like,
it's two-man job.
Yeah,
or
it is.
People job, two-person job.
Okay, calm down. And so Grady goes outside, helps Dad feed the feeds the deer. And Dad's talking about how the deer were brought up from South America and how they really didn't like to fly because deer, they hate flying. That's a thing.
We know that. Yep.
But and going over kind of like, oh, you know what this swamp's called Fever Swamp. And Mom's just like, I bet Mr. Fever discovered it. And everyone's like, Mom.
That's a good joke, Mom. Wow, Mr. Fever, come on now.
But Grady's getting real excited because he's gonna toss a tennis ball against the garage wall, just like he did back at his old home, and just like they did in my next door neighbor's a dead thing or whatever it's called, where they're throwing like tennis ball against the garage over and over again. But deer pen in the way. Can't throw a tennis ball. Like, that's the most fun you could possibly ever have, until all of a sudden a hand grabs his shoulder. And God. Grady's like, oh shit, it's that hermit come to kill. Bum bum bum.
Oh fuck. Nope, it's actually some heavyset kid. R.L. Stein's words, not mine. From down the street named Will Blake. And he has a hoarse and raspy voice. You ever met that kid when you were a kid where you're like, Jude, how much do you smoke? We're 9. And that kid that always had like a raspy voice. Like, dang, dude, go easy, bud.
No.
You ever had a kid that was like that and you're like, is it second, third hand smoke with you? How bad is it at home?
No, actually.
Some kids just kick it off with a hoarse voice.
Oh. No, I never actually met a child with a hoarse voice.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you should have said nay. Okay.
Ooh, it's a rough one
Grady says, I'm new in town. And William says, oh, that's wild. I've been here a couple years. And they're getting to know the neighborhood. And he's like, is there any other kids around here? This is Grady. Grady says, is there any other kids around here? And Will says, well, there's a girl that lives over there, but she's weird. And he doesn't really elaborate, which to me probably means she's cool.
Yeah.
I usually like the weird kids. They collect something, like fingernails or video games.
One of those is more disgusting than the other, and it's not the fingernail kid.
And then they get the conversation. There's boys having a conversation about the neighborhood. It's like, what goes on around here anyway? It's like, well, mainly we just sit around and spread lies about the land. He says, Will tells Grady about how Fever Swamp got its name. Turns out wasn't Mr. Fever at all. It turns out something took place about 100 years ago. Anyone who had been in that swamp, they caught themselves a little fever. Some of them there folks died of that said fever. They got too hot, boiled in their own skin. I'm gonna read a bit of this conversation. After Will says that, Grady's like, "That's horrible," I murmured, glancing across the backyard to the darkening trees at the swamp edge. "And those who didn't die from the fever began acting very strange," Will continued. He had small, round eyes, and as he told his story, his eyes gleamed. "They started talking crazy, not making any sense, just saying nonsense words. And they couldn't talk very well. They'd fall down a lot or walk around in circles." "Weird," I said, my eyes still trained on the swamp. The sky darkened from scarlet to a deep purple. The nearly full moon seemed to glow brighter. That's weird. That's weird moon behavior, if I'm going to point out anything there. But, so, he got a little back and forth there. Will giving him a bit of a story, a little bit of a myth about the swamp. And then they get a conversation going there, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, there's something about a hermit over there." And Will's like, "Yeah." And Grady's like, "Yeah, I saw a shack today, and some bitch chased me." And Will's like, "Whoa, that's cool." And then he's like, "Well, I gotta go." Just like that. That's exactly how the conversation. No, they didn't take any time to settle in to like chase you. Did you think he was trying to kill you? Where's he at now? Did your parents call the cops? He was just like, "Whoa, all right, well, I'm gonna head on." Like, okay, that's unnatural.
It's a little. I wouldn't say unnatural. I would say supernatural.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
You're
yes,
welcome.
I would too. I would agree with that. But Grady, he doesn't see it as he wasn't like, "Oh, that was rude." He was just like, "You know what? I feel a little cheered up. I made a new friend out here tonight. How awesome is that?" And so when Will leaves, Will's like, "Hey, maybe we can, explore the swamp together later." And so this is looking pretty good for Grady. He's got a swamp buddy. He doesn't need a sister anymore. This is all looking pretty good. And he goes back inside, and his folks are in there. They're watching sharks on Discovery Channel. You know how folks are doing. folks will get into that house. They'll get that Discovery Channel going. You can see that some sharks going. They just watch sharks. You know it? And about the time the sharks are doing shark stuff, they're on the TV, Grady starts feeling sick. Dylan didn't feel good. He said, I got a headache and my temples be throbbing, yo, he said. Got some chills. And Mom feels his head and she goes, you've got a fever. Dum, dum, dum.
He basically has a fever, like a low-grade fever.
It's not bad, right?
No, it's not. I mean, 101's pretty, like, it's high.
Yeah.
No, it's not, it's nothing to, it's
Nothing to shake a hobo stick at? Is this what you were doing?
no, it's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, my God. It was worse somehow. How was it worse?
Because of the buildup. That's how you tell a really awful joke, is really make someone wait for it, and they know it's not good. Like, they know this isn't leading to a good spot. This is only leading to a bad spot, and you make them wait.
Yeah.
10, 15, 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, just like...
40 minutes.
I have a calendar reminder for a joke I need to pay off later in about 5 years, and it's terrible, but I'm a person. I don't appreciate it. As I set up that calendar reminder right now. So he's got the fever. He's a little spacey about everything. He keeps hearing strange, frightening howls at night, like for the first time. And guess what meteorological, actually, is that astronomical? I would say astronomical, not meteorological, right? Like, it's not fucking moon's getting full. We're just gonna say it like that. There's a
cosmological? No, that's dumb.
Yeah, I want to say moonological. So
lunarly.
Yeah, but he's got the usual thing, like when you just love that lunarly.
The fact that that's the one that you accepted was what
just need to move on. Like so lunarly, it's fucking full right now. So
yeah.
He's having the same kind of things that when you got sick as a kid, having weird dreams, thinking of strange men with long, scraggly hair clawing out their windows. He hears just sinking into the swamp, drowning as the algae floods into his mouth, and all he can taste is brackish water, feeling the insect life moving inside of his mouth and down into his lungs and gullet, and he wake up covered in sweat, shaking. But then, that wasn't in the book, I'm sorry. That was imagining a better life. So he wakes up to howling outside of his window. So he creeps downstairs to check, because I'm not sure why he creeps downstairs to check. Why doesn't he just go downstairs? Is it not to wake the parents? Yeah. So
I guess so, yeah.
Then he hears scratching.
But wouldn't the scratching be
and
also loud?
Yeah, and the howling. Yeah. So, but then there's scratching at the kitchen door. He's like, what's going on? Is it a monster, a beast, a werewolf? No, we haven't said werewolf in the book yet. That doesn't come up until we meet Callie. But there's more scratchity, just like...
Yeah, just like that, yeah.
And then he hears breathing inside of the kitchen with him. Bum, bum, bum.
It's Emily. She's a loud breather, always has been. That's why she uses a CPAP. But she heard the howls too, so she came down to the kitchen to be like, what's up with these here howls? You hearing these? And Grady's like, I'm hearing them, girl. And then what's funny is, Grady's still sick, and Emily shoots a look over at him, and she's like, damn, you look sick. You probably got that swamp fever. And he's like, God, no, shut up. Stop saying that. I don't have swamp fever. God, you're so mean. They're like, well, what if that scratchy noise is the deer? Could that have been one of Dad's deer? Maybe got out of the pen? And it's like, they both kind of agree that, like, nah, deer wouldn't scratch at the door, as if that's like knowledge you can have.
Well,
you don't know what deer would do.
I think, well, I mean, they're the children of a deer scientist, but I think the idea of them thinking of like a deer pawing at the door, come on, let me in, guys, was humorous to them being children.
Yeah. They actually both bust out laughing at that. They're like, the deer.
Deer are so
As the devil
stupid, they wouldn't want
waits on the other
company.
side.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Old Scratch.
Yep, that is precisely why. Then there's another howl, and Emily's like, well, see, that there's a wolf. That's basically what a wolf sounds like. And Grady's like, Emily, there's no Florida swamp wolves, okay? There's no wolves down here, all right? They don't exist. And then there's more scratching. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Now, at this moment, Emily's like, we should go get Mom and Dad, because it seems like our house is about to be assaulted by Lord knows what. And Grady's like, nah, I want to take a peek. I want to see what it is. And Emily's like, no, I'm going to try to stop you, but nope. That fever courage that Grady's got powered through, and he opens up the kitchen door. Emily's like, no, Grady, wait! It's too late. Door's open. Bum, bum, bum. What's out there?
So there's a lot of talk in this book about how wolves in Florida, and then I did a quick Google search.
You did? Yeah.
There was something called the Florida wolf. Literally, that was the name of this wolf.
Huh.
It's
You
extinct.
think they would have maybe got
No,
more
it's
creative?
extinct. No, it's
Oh, okay.
So,
Anything named after Florida has a rough shot.
oh yeah, but there's nothing there outside
Wait,
the door.
what?
I mean, yeah, 'cause I just told you they're all extinct. So there's nothing scratching on their door. There's nothing there. It's just quiet. But some might say quieter than you would expect. Grady's just like, I'm gonna step outside, take a better look at this darkness and quiet. And Emily's just like, get back in here. Get back in here. Don't be crazy. Don't be crazy. You might get eaten. And then what'll I do? So Grady comes back. Earlier in the book, Grady's like, I'm the sensible one. I'm calm under pressure. Emily freaks out at everything. I take more after my dad, the scientist. I've got a cool head.
Yeah.
But he comes back in. She's just like, you need to lay down. You're looking a little flush. You got that swamp fever. Dad now comes down. They're like, we heard wolves howling and claws scratching at the door. And Dad's just like, I'm going to take the thermometer because you look like a tomato. With the red and the flushedness and the fever and everything. So,
And you're full of juice. And you got a green stem on your head.
no, that's another book. That's a different book.
Oh.
Dad's just like, you're too sick for this nonsense. You're both probably exhausted and tired. You guys should go to bed. Wait, you go outside, did you check on my deer? Did you check on my deer? Are the deer okay? And Grady's like, yeah, I checked on your deer. Don't worry, when I went out there with the scratchy and all that stuff and the homeless meth addict and all that kind of stuff, took care of it. Grady goes back to sleep and has like more nightmares about the bog. But he's feeling better the next day. He's no longer a little peaky, just feeling good. Wants to hang out with his new best buddy, Will.
Yeah, Will.
Go exploring. Opens the door to the, I'm assuming the backyard. Maybe the
Probably.
front yard. I don't know. But a dark monster leaps onto his chest and knocks him to the ground. Rips his throat out and he's dead. End of book. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I made up the last part. He does get knocked down though. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, he's not dead. He probably wishes he were, though. No, he probably doesn't, because he's being licked by a big dog on his face, which some people are into. I think it's kind of gross, but I get that it's sweet that the dog is super wanting to make out with you, because who doesn't like being made out with? And then Dad, this is such a dad thing, just to quip, oh, that's enormous. Looks like some kind of shepherd. Looks like it's part shepherd. Just Dad's always trying to be the first one to name the kind of dog that we're dealing with.
Oh yeah, that's a total dad thing. Like, oh yeah,
it's
definitely
part shepherd.
3/4 shepherd too. Like it's got to be, you know,
Definitely.
at least half. Like at least 50% to 60% shepherd.
Tell by the ears, the way they're cropped. Anyway, Emily now is like, okay, dog, big dog. Ha! That solves the howling and the scratching. Ah, thank God. That's awesome. We figured all that out. It's just a big dog. And they get to inspecting this big old dog. And they say, oh, there's got a collar on it, and there's no ID tag. Let's do the math here. Yeah, carry the one. Free dog! They got a free dog! All right. It's turned out to be the best book ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mom and Dad are like, no. You got 6 pet deer. And then Grady's like, they're not our pets. Those are your science deer. He's like, well, we got to take care of them like they're pets. They're your pet deer. We got 6 pet deer.
That's the same kind of horse shit where like, oh, your birthday's on Christmas Day? Well, fuck you. Like, no, you already got 6 deer. It's like, I didn't fucking ask for deer.
Yeah, first of all, I don't get to play with them because you're always playing with them. And I can't take a deer for a walk and all this other stuff. Play fetch with a deer. The deer won't even scratch on the door. I tried it. You know what I mean? So anyway, Grady actually does say that one thing. He does say, you can't walk deer. And he actually tells us, it's like, you're just going to let them go anyway. That's the whole reason we're down here. So you can let these deer go into the swamp and let them get mauled to death. So anyway, later, Will comes over. And Grady's like, hey, Will, check this out. This dog showed up. Do you know this dog? Will's like, I don't know that dog. All right, sweet. Still a free dog then, looking like. And he's like, Will, did you happen to hear any, like, howls or anything last night, man? Will's like, nah, man, I didn't hear anything. Like, okay, great. So everyone thinks that the dog looks like a wolf, which is weird because Dad said shepherd earlier. I can tell the difference personally. You know, maybe these lay people from Vermont, they don't know the difference. But anyway, they say it looks like a wolf, so they're like, it'd be a good name for him. We're not going to try very hard. We're just going to call him Wolf. And it's like, oh, that works. Yeah, we'll call him Wolf. And now somehow in the span of time that it took Grady to go out and talk with Will and come back, Mom and Dad have softened. They're like, well, can we keep him? And they're like, we'll see. We'll see if you can keep him, okay? Just got this 6 deer for nothing, it seems. Anyway, later that afternoon, Grady's like, I'm going to go exploring with Will. Seems like a great guy. Real stand-up guy. He's got big burly shoulders and he smells like musk. And they get to talking. And Will apparently doesn't believe in quicksand. Of course, neither do I. Said that earlier. Never thought it was real. And then Grady's like, you know, it'd be fun to do. You could get bones out of the bog with a fishing pole. And Will's like, that's a weird thing to bring up. It's kind of seemed to... I agree, though. I've always thought that'd be a good place to hide bodies. And I bet there's a ton in there. I bet you could get some bones.
You did start off our conversation saying that, which I found concerning at the time. And I'm still concerned. Because, like, I'm worried that you're going to start sinking... You got to sink them proper, though. You can't just toss it in the bog.
Couple cinder blocks.
Not a couple. No, sir. We'll talk. Really? We'll talk off air.
Okay. I love how your Blanche Devereaux kicked in on that last bit.
Oh, yeah. If I'm hiding bodies in the swamp, we ain't talking like I'm from Boston. We're going to be talking like I'm from North Carolina. All right, let's go.
Hell yeah. Well, after a bit of walking through the swamp, exploring like a couple swamp boys out in Florida swamp, swamping, Will goes, shush, shush, hush, hush. Y'all hearing footsteps? And they realize, uh-oh, we're being followed. It's got to be the swamp hermit. Oh, fuck. Bam, bam, bam.
I feel like Swamp Hermit's getting blamed for a lot of things. Grady's he's trying to get out of this Swamp Hermit situation. Gonna try to find a good hiding spot. But then he realizes it ain't nothing. It's just Wolf, his brand new dog. Wolf comes bounding over, tackles Grady, knocks him down, gives him licks inside of his mouth, up and down. It's great. Everyone's happy. So they continue to explore the bog now that they have a protector in Wolf. And Wolf's leading the way right in there. Will tosses a stick into the bog, just like children do.
Yeah. When he did that, I actually went outside and pitched a stick off my... This is not a lie, by the way. I was like, I kind of want to go throw a stick. And I threw a stick out of my backyard.
And?
Oh, that's it. It's just fun. I was just like, nice.
Right.
Nice.
But the stick doesn't actually sink. And it's kind of a disappointment. But they're like, you know what? We're science majors. We know what to do. Look for something heavier. So they're looking for something heavier. But then Wolf starts growling. Starts showing his teeth. And Will says, I bet he senses danger. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, you know what? He might. he might have, because he's got a menacing growl going, and they look across that goddamn water. They look at the weeds over there across the little bog. They see him. That's him right over there. By God, for real this time, not even a cliffhanger. This is the fucking swamp hermit in all his swamp hermit glory, exposing himself to these young boys.
Whoa.
He was just behind the weed. He's just hanging out. And,
I do listen to you while you're talking, and I know that didn't happen in this book.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Well, I'm scared of bees. That's a whole different book. He ain't talking about bees. He ain't talking about bees. I don't know why.
He ain't talking about exactly where I'm scared of.
I just went real southern ever since we got talking about this swamp. Let's go.
But now they're like, oh shit, how long has he been over there? Has he seen us? Has he been watching us? Has he been spying on us? Which is unsettling for sure. And then they're like, well, hell, should we hide or run? What should we do? I'm going to read a little bit of a passage here from Arlstein, Our Lord, book 14. Wolf uttered a quiet growl, still frozen in place, ready to attack. Keeping low, I scooted closer to the dog, for protection, I guess. I watched the strange man as he made his way through the weeds. His long, gray-white hair was wild, standing straight out around his face. He kept glancing behind him as he walked, as if making sure he wasn't being followed. He carried a brown sack over one shoulder, a lot like Dylan's hobo. He turned his gaze in our direction. I dropped down lower, trying to hide behind Wolf, my heart pounding. Wolf hadn't moved, but he was silent now. His ears were still pulled back, his lips open in a soundless snarl. What were those dark stains on the front of the swamp hermit's grimy shirt? Bloodstains? A shiver of fear ran down my back. Wolf stared straight ahead without blinking, without moving a muscle. The swamp hermit disappeared behind the tall weeds. We couldn't see him, but we could still hear his footsteps crunching over dead leaves and fallen twigs. I glanced over at Wolf. The big dog shook himself, as if shaking the swamp hermit from his mind. His tail wagged slowly, his body relaxed. He uttered soft whimpers, as if telling me how scared he had been. "It's okay, boy," I said, quieter than that. "It's okay, boy," I said quietly, just like that, and rubbed the soft fur on top of the dog's head. He stopped whimpering and licked at my wrist. "That guy's creepy," Will exclaimed, climbing slowly to his feet. "He even scared the dog," I said, petting Wolf some more. What do you think he had in that sack?" "Probably someone's head," Will said, his dark eyes wide with horror. I laughed, but I stopped when I saw that Will wasn't joking. "Everyone says he's harmless," I said. "He had blood all over the front of his shirt," Will said with a shudder. He scratched his short, dark hair nervously. Because Will's nervous. That's all I'm going to read out of that. But Will's nervous. You know? He's nervous about this guy's bloody shirt that he's got. So they decide, you know what? Now that he's probably clear, let's head on back. So they head on back to their homes. Wolf following them. And they're almost back to their yards. They can see their backyards from where they are. And they let out a cry and covered their eyes at the gruesome sight that lay before them. Bum, bum, bum.
It's a dead heron.
What? Just a bird?
Okay.
Not just a bird. I'm sorry. I didn't mean like that.
Fuck up, sir.
But it wasn't like his sister, which would have been wild, right?
I guess that would have been wild if a child... We're not allowed to kill dogs in these books, so he has to kill literally every other animal that he can get his paws on in this book. So we get a dead heron, torn apart, chest wide open, blood, feathers everywhere.
This is pretty graphic, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty.
This is like in terms of describing something that is real and dead. I feel like this is the first time this has happened. Oh yeah, like even when he killed that dog, like you don't see the the dog goes from being dead, alive to undead without an intermission in the middle there where you're like, oh no, he died. It's literally like, oh, he just smells worse and he's kind of crabby now. Like like death is not the worst thing that's happened to Petey. Let's be honest. The dog, Petey the dog from the first book, not Petey. Right, not our friend, yeah.
Yeah.
This bird, he doesn't hold back. He's like, guts everywhere, tendons sprawled out, bones visible, chest open, heart still barely beating. I paraphrased, but...
Yeah. So they're like, who did this? Was it the hermit? Because he had a big old bloody sack, and he had, like, blood on his shirt and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, would an animal have done this? This doesn't look like something an animal would necessarily done. And Wolf comes up, he's sniffing at it a little bit, but he's not that interested, apparently. But Grady gets back home, tells his dad, like, oh, we found this this bird. It was, like, really torn up. And, like, the dad's just like, oh, yeah, you know, life is... You know, I've taught you, nature's horrifying and blah, blah. Meanwhile, Grady's just like, no, you don't understand. Its chest, it was almost like been ripped in half. Like his dad has to cut him off and just like, all right, just, okay, you're a little too intense about this. Let's back her up. So the dad is just like, it's not a monster. Calm down. Although, so there's a couple of moments in this where I feel like R.L. Stallion's trying to be like, are they really monsters? Because he's done this in a couple of stories so far. Not a couple of stories. I feel like one or two. I might be conflating.
I think two seem right.
Steintingler's, though. I think Steintingler's came out 20 years later, so that doesn't count. But I was thinking, like, maybe he's trying to, like, is this like the monster librarian kind of thing, or is this we don't know about werewolves? Because at one point the mom's like, your dad's a werewolf. I have to shave his back every day so it looks normal. And everyone's just like, oh
man.
He just brushes it off. Grady goes to bed. He feels pretty good. He's got Wolf nearby. He's gonna go sleep. But he's still got the image of the heron in his brain, which is, you know, you see the dead thing when you're a kid, especially something that aggressive. It discombobulates you.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like he's on the verge of getting to sleep, and then crash. Living room. Someone's breaking in. Gray's like, oh no! Hermit? Monster? Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it could be either one. Now the whole family's awake. They're all checking downstairs. What in the hell happened down here? What in the world? What's going on? Wolf had wanted out, apparently. Knocked over the lamp, broke Mom's lamp. Made a mess. Mom's like, God damn it. Under her breath, she's like, motherfucking dog. I knew better. They let Wolf out. Fine, get on out of here if you want out, bastard. He runs right into the swamp. Kick as fast as he can. It's like, well, he's on a mission, I guess. And then Dad's like, look, Grady, the dog, he's got to stay outside from now on. You know, which sucks for Grady, because Grady just had a little moment and he was falling off to sleep where he was resting up against Wolf and he was soft and he's like, had a little sleeping buddy. No more of that. No more of that. He's got to stay outside. Now Grady's like, oh, Dad, God, you never let me do nothing. And he's like, look, Grady, dog's just too big, but it's knocking over lamps and stuff. You've seen how big it is. I think it's got a lot of shepherd in it, personally. And Emily is like, I wonder why he wanted out. And they're like, because he had to shit, of course. Like, the dogs sometimes would want out and they just run into the woods and then they like shit on the way and then they go sniff some trees. Like he could have been doing anything. That didn't seem like aberrant behavior.
Most dogs don't like try and throw themselves through a window, though, to go to the bathroom, though. I'll say that.
I mean, I've not met most dogs, but I mean, if I were the dog, I would, you know. Anyway, they cleaned up this broken lamp. You know, Mom's still muttering under her breath, son of a bitch, never do the lamps. Got it from Target sale. And she's like, well, now that we've got this picked up and the dog's outside, maybe we can all sleep peacefully now. But was she wrong? Bum, bum, bum.
More howls. Tear through the night. There's a lot of, like, ruckus outside, just, like, thumping sounds around the back of the house. Then just he's basically hearing a crime happening outside. With like a struggle, a terrifying cry cut short in the night. And like, Grady's just, I need to check this out. This is what seems to be a bad neighborhood, if we're honest, because there's so much nonsense happening in such a short frame of time. This is a rough week. A heron's died. Now it sounds like there's a criminal outside doing things. Grady runs to the window, looks out, sees a huge beast run into the shadows and then howl. And he thinks he's in tune with the beast enough that he's like, I think this might be, I would say, triumphant howl. A howl of triumph. of success? Is it his dog? Is it Wolf? Or is it a wolf? It's kind of confusing. You name your dog Wolf, and then you're like, is it the animal Wolf? Is it my proper name, Wolf? But no. He doesn't know. So he goes out, and he sees what looks like a pile of rags or something next to the deer pen. Goes out the window. Creeps along. Sees the deer look a bit tense. I don't know if you've seen a lot of wild deer. Of course you have. You see them every single day probably. But you can tell when a deer looks tense, even a swamp and or a marsh deer.
Sure, absolutely.
And he's creeping up on that pile of rags. And he's like, what is that pile of rags? Bum, bum, bum.
Oh my God. Is it a pile of rags or is it a dead rabbit? It's a dead rabbit. Dead rabbit. No ears. Ears torn off. Ripped in half. Too far. For whoever killed it.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely overkill. You didn't need to take off the ear. There actually is, near the climbing gym that I go to, there is a rabbit that only has one ear. He's still doing fine. He's still bouncing, hippity-hoppiting, except he's missing.
Somebody's got themselves a lucky bunny ear.
Probably like a hawk or a dog. I don't think like someone. Yeah. Because that'd be pretty fucked up if someone just was walking around being like, I need a lucky rabbit's ear. Well, it's not lucky for that rabbit, is it?
That was what I would always say about lucky rabbit's feet.
Well, those aren't really usually rabbit's feet. Those you take a piece of rabbit skin and just wrap it around something. And you can make like hundreds of the fucking things from one rabbit as opposed to 4.
Oh. Okay.
Just saying. Yeah.
I don't ever venture inside your shed ever.
You shouldn't.
Experiments.
You honestly shouldn't.
But Grady doesn't feel good. Yeah. Grady doesn't feel good. He's like, wow, that was probably worse than the heron, if I'm being honest. And he's like, I'm going to jump back into the house here. And he hears a howl out in the distance again. I don't even need to. You can imagine a howl. I'm sorry I even mimed it. So he goes off to sleep. Now, the next morning, Emily's found out about all this. She is upset. Boy, she is livid. She loves the cute little animals. She loves the bunnies. And she's very upset about Wolf is done. She calls him a killer over and over again. That dog's a killer. He's a killer. It's like, well, he's a dog. So, he does dog stuff.
And this is a turnabout. Like, at the beginning, Emily is like, you should have the dog. Give him the dog. He's lonely and sad and depressed because he left his boyfriend. So he should have the dog to get him through these troubling times. So
right, exactly.
Now she's turned on Wolf.
I don't think she's like unreasonable if she thinks the dog's like just gonna knock over furniture and kill all the animals nearby. But
like this is once again, it's been a week. It's a long time to have a dog that's like murdered 17 animals and destroyed your house.
And so Grady grabs the gun and he says, he's my dog, Pa. No, he doesn't. But everyone pretty much thinks he killed this bunny. Like, the evidence seems pretty strong against Wolf. And even the deer seem a little wary of Wolf. Somebody observes. And Dad's like, yeah, they do. And that's a problem. Those deer, that's how we make our bread around here. So if those deer are wary of Wolf, we need to keep an eye on him. And Grady's like, look, Wolf's harmless. Guys, I hang out with him all day long. We chill. Like, he's good. And then he's like, look, he won't bite. And he, like, lets the dog gently, like, put his teeth around his wrist. And he's like, see, he's not ripping me apart. He's a good boy. He knows the difference between arm of meat and store-bought rawhide. He's smart. And then M's like, nope, I want him out here. I want him gone. Grady's making his case that the howls weren't made by a wolf. All of this stuff, my client is innocent, Your Honor. And then Dad's agreeing with both of them. He's like, I actually agree. I don't think Wolf made those howls. That's a real wolf or a coyote. And but he's like, you know what? Either way, you can, as long as Wolf stays outside, you guys stay out of trouble. Just be careful around him, all right? We don't know this dog too well. And Em's like, whatever, that dog's a monster. Wolf's a monster. He's a monster. And Grady's like, come here, Wolf. And gives him a big hug around his neck. And he's like, you're no monster, are you, boy? And Wolf looks like he wants to say something to Grady. What with all him being a dog and unable to enunciate words and whatnot, Grady has no idea what Wolf's trying to say. Uh-oh, dumb, dumb, dumb.
I mean, I don't really feel I was worried of a dumb, 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 but
I kind of agree on that one.
Will comes by the next day. He's like, "Hey, you wanna go explore the swamp?" And Grady's like, "Obviously, nothing better to do when you're a 12-year-old boy and have literally nothing else to do except explore the swamp." So they head off, and as they go, I think this is funny because as they go to the swamp, Will's like, "Hey, by the way, did you hear that a man might have died in the swamp recently and he's missing and he's gone forever?" And they're like, "Wait, what? Wait, then why do you want to go this? What?" So it turns out one of their neighbors, there's 6 houses. One of the 6 people who live on the street is now gone. That's a pretty high percentage. Mr. Warner used to like to go out and hunt wild turkey out in the swamps, but he ain't been back yet. Which is, if you think about it and put the pieces together, this is a human being that's definitely dead. But it's kind of like so, like, oh, he's just missing, and you don't really clear it up at the end, but he's fucking dead. We're not allowed to kill Petey the dog anymore. But Mr. Warner, he didn't come back from his turkey shoot.
That's not good. That's what my dad said he was going to go do, and then he died.
Oh, really? Grady's was just, that's fantastic. Let's go into the swamp. Maybe we can find Mr. Warner on top of what's killing all these animals. But then a voice behind them says, "Maybe a werewolf got him." Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, shit. Well, good thing that wasn't the hermit or a big other scary stalkery man. It was actually a neighborhood girl named Cassie O'Rourke. She was like,
"Maybe a werewolf got him."
And,
oh, is that the voice you're doing for her?
This is the voice I'm doing for Cassie O'Rourke.
No, I won't do that because it hurts my voice. But, you know, they're startled. They're like, "What the fuck was that?" And Cassie's like, "Huh?" And Will's like, "Hey, Cassie, what are you doing here?" And then she's like, "Following y'all." And then she looks at Grady. She's like, "You're the new kid, right?" "Hi. Will told me about you." And Grady's like, "Oh, hi. He said that there was another girl in the neighborhood, but he didn't say much about you." And then Will's like, "What's to tell?" Because he's a real jerk to Cassie. And even, like, tries to punch her in the fucking shoulder. And she dodges. She's like, "Miss me." But he was going for blood, man. He's a real Ike Turner. I don't like this Will all of a sudden. And then...
Whoa. That's... just went real dark.
Starts slugging...
Real fast.
He just starts slugging females out of nowhere.
She punches him first, to be fair.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she punches him in the chest, and she's like, "Oh, I got that mosquito for you. Don't you worry about it." And he's like, "There wasn't no mosquito."
She pulled a blade of grass out of his mouth, and that made him mad. And he punched her.
Oh. Well, she gets his back later, so.
Well, yeah, anyway. But then out of nowhere, she's like, "What'd you guys say about the werewolf?" And Will's like, don't bring that stuff up again. It's so stupid. And she's like, "You're afraid." And Will's like, "You're so stupid, you still believe in the Easter Bunny, idiot." And they have like a bit of a bickering match. And then she just, at some point, slugs him back. And he's like, "Oh, what'd you have for?" And she's like, "It was a mosquito." It probably wasn't, but it's still a good shot, as Dylan alluded to earlier. So they're having their little backs and forths, and they get to talk a little bit more about the werewolf. And I think Grady's like, "Hey, did you hear those howls last night, Cassie? Now that I'm finally meeting someone else from the neighborhood, you've been hearing howls, and you got a lot of dead animals around your house or anything like that?" And she's like, "The howls at night are the werewolf after it kills." Gosh! And then, basically just on cue, Wolf, our buddy Wolf, he appears out of the weeds. Cassie points at it, screams. This Easter Bunny believing sumbitch, she thinks Wolf is the werewolf. Bum, bum, bum.
And he is. Oh, wait. No.
What?
But turns out she wasn't pointing at Wolf. It's been a while since we've seen this particular...
This is a weird gag.
Yeah, I don't like this gag that much, but...
Well, misdirection.
Yeah. She's actually pointing at a shadowy figure behind Wolf. the Swamp Hermit. Which is apparently, once again, a real job. Or title?
Title. Yeah, I was one time assistant to the Swamp Hermit.
So it turns out the Swamp Hermit doesn't always stay in the swamp. He's coming up out of the swamp. And so I'm just gonna read to you everything past that point, basically, which is
good.
Amazing.
Please.
I saw him walking quickly towards the weeds, his shoulders bent, his mangy head bobbing with each step. As he moved into a small break in the weeds, I could see why he was leaning forward. He carried something over one shoulder. A bag of some sort. Wolf started to growl. The hermit stopped walking. It wasn't a bag slung over his shoulder, I saw. It was a turkey. A wild turkey. A chilling thought burst into my mind. Had he taken it from Mr. Warner? Was Cassie right about the swamp hermit? Was he a werewolf? Had he done something horrible to Mr. Warner and claimed the wild turkey as his prize? I'm just going to say, I'm interjecting here. That's me, Dylan.
Yeah.
The fact that it's just like, I'm going to kill a man and take his turkey is the most ludicrous thing that I've heard so far in this book. I tried to dismiss these horrible thoughts. They're crazy. Impossible. I agree. But Cassie looked so frightened, staring across the gurgling green bog at the wild-eyed hermit. And the howls at night. Howls have been so frightening. So human. The dead animals I'd seen, torn so brutally apart as if by a werewolf. Wolf uttered another warning growl. He stared at the hermit, his tail standing stiffly behind him, his fur rising up on his back. The hermit moved quickly. I saw his dark eyes flash just before it disappeared behind the weeds. "It's him!" Cassie cried, still pointing. "It's the werewolf!" "Cassie, shut up!" Will warned. "He'll hear you!" I'm going full Christian Bale with the sky, apparently.
Yeah, you did.
I swallowed hard, frozen in place by my fear. I saw the weeds tremble across the bog. I heard rustling sounds growing closer. "Run!" Will cried, his hoarse voice shrill in fright. Oh, that's not shrill at all. Hold on. "Run!" Will cried. I'm just going to go back to horse, not horse and shrill. "Run!" Will cried, his hoarse voice shrill and frightened. "Come on, run!" Too late. The swamp hermit burst out of the weeds right behind us. "I'm the werewolf!" Whoa! Sorry.
Whoa!
I'm kind of leaning into the fact that this hermit is joking with them, and so I feel like I'm the werewolf is entirely what I'm thinking.
That's perfect.
But
oh, man, that's great.
The swamp hermit burst out of the woods right behind us. "I'm the werewolf!" he shrieked. Shit, I'm not going to be able to get through that sentence. "I'm the werewolf!" No, that was bad. I didn't like that one so much. "I'm the werewolf!" He had heard Cassie laughing at the top of shit. I can't. I ruined the whole tone of everything with, like, "I'm the werewolf."
You've hit it perfectly every time. You've not changed it. I don't even know why you don't just start after that. You've nailed it every time. We have so many takes we can take.
Well, I have to get back into serious after that. He had heard Cassie laughing at the top of his lungs. He tossed up both hands, then began to swing the turkey in a wild circle over his head. "I'm the werewolf!" he cried. Cassie... I can see you just out of my peripheral vision, just like go down. And I'm just...
Sorry. I was trying not to laugh into the mic.
Cassie, Will, and I all cried out at the same time. Then we started to run.
Whew. Glad they did that.
They try. I mean, they run, they slip in the mud as, like, the hermit's chasing after them, being kind of a goober. And Grady slips, takes a hard fall onto the mud, and thinks that the werewolf, "I'm the werewolf," has got him. Dun, dun, dun. Oh.
Man, and the whole time swinging a turkey. That's
a dead turkey specifically.
I don't know if there is a thing that R.L. Stine has written that is funnier than that whole sequence. Give or take your acting abilities. Still, that vision of a redneck busting out of a shed with a turkey swinging in at kids yelling, "I'm the werewolf," is my favorite thing so far.
I'm so sorry, by the way, that you got this chapter to read based on where it ends up. But
Yeah. Cassie and Will are nowhere to be seen, though. Grady, everybody's been broken up. And Grady didn't even really know. Where was Wolf? Where was Wolf during all this? I really could have used some backup from that. Plus, he had turkey. You like turkey, don't you, Wolf? Huh? The hermit stops just a few yards away. Go on, he murmured, gesturing with his free hand. Just teasing you. What? My voice came out tiny and frightened. Fucking nailed it. Go on. I'm not going to bite you, he said. His grin faded. The light seemed to dim in his shiny black eyes. Wolf appeared behind him. The dog gazed up at the hermit, then lowered his eyes to the dead turkey. He barked once, a shrill yip. But I could see that Wolf had relaxed. He had no intention of attacking the hermit. This dog yours? The hermit asked, eyeing Wolf warily. Yeah, I replied, still breathing hard. I found him. Well, watch out for him, the hermit said sharply. Maybe more like, watch out for him. Sharper. Then he turned and, hoisting the large bird on his shoulder, headed back into the weeds. What, watch out for him? I stammered. What do you mean? But the hermit didn't reply. I could hear him brushing the tall weeds away as he disappeared back into the swamp. What do you mean? I called after him, but he was gone. The swamp was silent now, except for the chirping and clicking of insects and the dry sound of palm leaves brushing against each other. I stared straight ahead at the tall weeds. I guess I expected the swamp hermit to return, to burst back into view, to attack again. I'm the werewolf! 2 white moths fluttered together over the weeds. Nothing else moved. He was just teasing us, he had said. Damn it, it was all just being teased. So he turns to Wolf. He says, where the fuck were you, man? Why didn't you protect me out there? He thinks some more about what the hermit had said. Just teasing us. Just teasing us. He thinks, I bet he heard Will and Cassie mention the werewolf and then thought he'd bust out of his shed and have his fun. God damn. On his way back to his innocent Christian home with his family, where he lives with a dog that's now an outdoor dog and 6 deer who've always been outdoor deer, I'll be goddamned if my boy Grady don't step on a fucking snake. It bit his ankle! The scariest part of the book, Grady bitten by a ferocious snake, consumed by fear, crumples to the ground and presumably dies. Dumb, fucking dumb.
At Grady's funeral, there's not many people. Like, his family's obviously there, but he has no friends, really. Like, Will's not there, Cassie's not there. It's
a good yes and, by the way. I was convinced for a second. I was like, fuck, dude, what chapter are you reading? I was looking at the screen.
Fucking nailed it.
all right. He doesn't actually die. It's just a harmless green snake. I don't know if R.L. Stine actually did research for this book or just picked adjective animal name, because swamp deer, swamp
snake,
wolf, swamp snake, it's just literally just... Don't worry, green snakes are... What the fuck is a green... You're going to look it up now and be like, no, green snakes are actually very common in Florida and filled with fangs. So...
I don't Google snakes anymore. I've learned that lesson. They don't just show you words.
Just Google snake strike, angry.
No.
All in quotes. So, snake slithers off to the bushes. Wolf is like, how you doing, bud? Licks his hand. Grady's like, that doesn't really help. But thanks, Wolf. He knows he's got to get home quickly because he doesn't even know if it's venomous or not and what's going on. He's just like, I need a boot scooting boogie out of here. Meets Cassie and Will outside the swamp. He's like, hey, can you go get help? Because I might be dying from snake venom. And then, like, just... Does he do a gainer and just goes down? Like, I forget what happens at this point exactly, but, like, Grady's dad comes running up. He's like, what's going on to my dying child? And Cassie's like, a werewolf bit him. And, like, Grady's dad's like, what the fuck? Get out of here. Like, no, something actually bit my dying child. Let's go figure out. This is just like Mike in that summer camp book. What is it? The fucking Moon Camp on Mars or whatever the shit was called?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep, that was it. Book number 10, probably.
Yeah. So, that kid got bit on the face or something, and, like, the counselors, like, beat him with a clipboard.
Yeah.
So,
That was wild.
yeah. But Gray's dad's just like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a harmless, non-venomous green snake. An ice pack's all you need for that. Grady's, he's telling his mom, Cassie's a little crazy. She has werewolves on the brain. His mom's like, oh, don't we all? And I'm going to take us up to page 96 of this book. If you want to follow along at home.
On your e-Kindle.
On your e-Kindle.
Or aren't they all e-Kindles?
No, some Kindles are literally just like a plastic case, and you just shove the book inside of it.
That's right.
It doesn't it makes the process much more cumbersome. It's horrible. It doesn't even protect the book.
It doesn't.
No. They're kind of going back and forth. Grady's kind of filling in his parents and what's been going on in the swamp the last like week or so. Explaining about the hermit, saying like, I'm a werewolf. And the dad's just like, what's going on with that? Dad was washing his hands in the kitchen sink. He dried them on a dish towel, then turned to me. That old swamp hermit is supposed to be harmless, he said. At least that's what everyone says. Well, he gave us a real scare, I told him. He chased us through the swamp, shouting, I'm the werewolf! Grady has a great swamp hermit impression as well.
I bet he does.
Weird, Dad replied thoughtfully. He tossed the dish towel onto the counter. You should stay away from him, Mom said, looking up from the newspaper. Do you believe in werewolves? I asked. Dad snickered. This is the moment where like, aren't they werewolves? Like, don't put this in my brain.
Right.
Dad snickered. Your mom and I are scientists, Grady, not werewolves. Wouldn't that have been great if that was the line? It's like, it's a profession you choose, child. Sorry, that's not what he actually said.
You can't be both.
Your mom and I are scientists, Grady. We're not supposed to believe in supernatural things like werewolves. Your father is a werewolf, Mom joked. I have to shave his back every morning so he'll look human. Ha ha, I said sarcastically. I'm serious. I mean, haven't you heard the weird howls at night? Lots of creatures howl, Mom replied. Abba, you howled when that snake bit your ankle. At this point, I kind of was like, what is wrong with his parents? Because they're like, there's a strange man in your wood, like in your backyard, who's chased your child twice now.
Yeah, they let that go pretty easy.
Meanwhile, like
Dad's like, he's harmless. I've been hearing from downtown. He's harmless. I'm like, that's what he wants you to know. That's every pedophile wants you to think they're harmless, bro.
All the people who live miles and miles and miles and miles away from the hermit say he's harmless, but no one in the neighborhood wants to talk to me about it. It's very strange. Can't you be serious? I cried shrilly. You know, the house didn't start until it was a full moon. I remember. The house didn't start until that dog showed up, Emily called from the front room. Emily, give me a break, I shouted. Your dog is a werewolf, Emily called, which is pretty good, like, back and forth with siblings. Enough werewolf talk, Mom muttered. Look, I've got hair growing on my palms.
What's she been doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, reading the newspaper, apparently. She held up her hands. That's just ink off the newspaper, Dad said. He turned to me.
Okay.
See, there's a scientific explanation for everything. I would really like to be taken seriously, I said through clenched teeth. Spoiler alert, he's not taken seriously.
So many good nuggets in that exchange, though. Mom and Dad just being
the family.
Mom and Dad.
The family interactions are always great. Like, I love, like, Emily has to chime in midway through the conversation and be like, dog's a werewolf. Dog's a werewolf. Like, shut up. But the dad's just like, moon will look full for like 2 more nights. If the howls stop after tomorrow, boom, scientific evidence that no such thing as werewolves. It's like, Dad, that's not even the scientific method. What are you teaching me? But
this is going to take months of research.
Little did his dad know that his opinions on werewolves were about to change.
Forever.
I did 2 different studies to determine if, in fact, incidents of violent crime are heightened based on certain days of the lunar cycle.
Lunarly.
Yes, lunarly.
And how was that research? How did that go?
So as a child in middle school, I did it. And then when I took statistics class in college, I was like, I really don't want to think about this. Let's just do that thing I did in 8th grade. So I did it twice. Once using real statistics. Both times I used real statistics, but the other one I actually used like formulas and stuff. No, there is no connection between violent crime and any phase of the moon.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping for something.
It's not even like the new moon leads to more violent crime or anything. It's like I found one of the crescent moons was more likely to have a crime happen on it. It's just that's not exciting. So I'm sorry. Don't. The next time you meet like a cop friend, it's just like the real loonies come out during the full. Be like, no.
No, they don't.
Scientifically unproven by this guy I know.
Yeah.
Using real data that he found on the internet.
That's right. I will do that. I will keep that in my pocket. It says Dad's about to have his mind changed forever, but it's not going to be anytime soon, because now it's the next day. And we're having some breakfast. Actually, no, I lied to you. We're having dinner. We probably did have breakfast, and it was probably great. Lunch, too. But now we're having dinner. And over at Grady's place, Will and Cassie have come over. Emily, out to the movies. She made her new boo. She's out to the movies. Maybe a friend. I don't know. She's not home. Mom and Dad are loading the dishwasher while Will, Cassie, and Grady are talking. And, they have a bit of argument back and forth about whose fault it was. Like, you mentioned the werewolf, and that's why he teased you. You said it too loud. When you said it, you're dumb. And they go back and forth a lot. At some point, Grady gets tired of them arguing, and Grady drops this little number. He's like, I could see they'd had fights like this before. Let's play a game or something, I suggested. Want to play some Nintendo in my room? And they just ignore him. Cassie's very next words are like, well, Mr. Warner still hasn't shown up. Basically like, hey, forget Nintendo. There's a dead man from the neighborhood that we could be looking for. Which is fair. But she's like, he was murdered by the werewolf. And then Will's like, shut up, Cassie. God, you're so stupid. And she's like, well, maybe you're the werewolf. And he's like, no, you're a vampire or something. And they keep going back and forth like that. And actually, it's really funny because then she's like, well, you look like King Kong. And he's like, stop. Mom makes them stop arguing. She halts the interruption or halts the interaction completely. Tells those kids, hey, calm the fuck down. Okay, not in our house. All right, we've had enough. So, now, later that night, after the friends have left, he hears more howls from his bed. And they're getting closer. He's like, oh shit, these are getting closer. Well, hell, I better go on outside where the howls are, I guess. I don't know what you're thinking, Grady. But he does have a sore ankle from that vicious snake bite, poor bastard. So he hobbles down his steps with his swollen ankle because he's got to figure out what these howls are all about. He's got to make sure it's not his boy. Sure ain't wolf. Gets dressed, gets close to the downstairs, hears thuds on the house. It's not good. I'm not going outside at that point. If I'm hearing thuds on the house, I'm not going out there. But Grady does. He goes outside, hops off the stoop, looks around. Everything gets kind of eerily quiet. Doesn't see anything. He's like, okay, well, that's weird. He turns to go back inside, and before he does, he catches a glimpse of something out of the corner of his eye. It looks like, oh, fuck. It looks like Dylan. Oh, God, the werewolf is murdered again. Dum, dum, dum.
He tries to call out for his father.
Dad!
But fear has gripped his esophagus.
Dad!
There's a hole ripped from the side of the pen, and one of the deer lies pitifully on its side. Its eyes rolled back into its head from the terror it experienced. In the last seconds of its life, it was torn apart by some savage beast. Finally,
Grady is able to pull himself together enough to run screaming back into the house, calling for his mom and dad. Dad comes out to deal with the dead deer. He calls Wolf a killer.
Oh, God damn, not again.
And Grady's like, it wasn't Wolf. And like, Dad's like, I saw paw prints all around the pen. It was a dog and it was Wolf. Grady's arguing back and forth. Dad's like, I'm going to take him to the pound.
Oh, God, no.
I'm going to take him to the pound, one county over. So he'll definitely be murdered in that county. Like, they never specify why they go so far away, but it's like, no, I'm definitely taking him to not just a kill shelter, but a shelter that's like, we enjoy killing dogs, bring them to us.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even an order we do them in. It's like, first come, first serve, hammer on the head, boom. Dad's just like, found a cool shelter, two counties over in Tallahassee, let's go.
Wow.
But Grady's like, please don't kill my killer dog. They're going back and forth. Grady now is buying full in on the werewolf story because this is the only option he's got. Because his dad, throughout the whole book, just in case you think Grady might be stupid, because he hasn't actually seen anything, literally nothing supernatural in this entire story, and he's immediately jumping to the werewolf thing. His dad has been adamant repeatedly throughout this book that wolves not only don't exist in Florida, but if they were to cross the Florida state line, a wolf would explode into just fire.
Yeah, confetti and fire.
The whole time was just like, that howling I hear definitely does not sound like it's coming from a dog, but a wolf and coyote, but there's no wolves or coyotes in Florida, so I don't know what the fuck it is. Probably your dog. Like, that's...
Every
it
time.
is the most infuriating conversation where it's just like, there's no way it could be a wolf or dog. Or a wolf or a coyote, because honestly, Florida, the last wolf they had, it's gone.
It's gone.
Grady's constantly, he's trying to get his dad to, like, see the light, realize that wolf isn't actually a wolf. Maybe Dad's dumb. He's just like, you named the dog Wolf, so maybe dog is Wolf.
Should have named it Shepherd, like I said.
Oh, god damn it. But Grady keeps to arguing. But I couldn't stop. I know I'm right, Dad. I cried in a shrill voice that didn't sound like me. I'm not going to try the shrill voice. Every time I try a shrill voice, it comes out like, I know I'm right, Dad! Like, he's not in the throes of the worst puberty ever.
He might be.
So, he might be. It's been a full moon this week, right? And that's when the howls began. It's a werewolf, Dad. The swamp hermit. That crazy guy who lives in the shack in the swamp. He's a werewolf. He told us he is. He chased us, and he told us he's a werewolf. He did it, Dad. Not Wolf. He killed the dad tonight.
Whoa.
He killed the dad tonight. Oh boy, that's some Freudian slips.
Nancy Grace over there. Bombshell tonight.
He killed the deer tonight. I heard him howling outside, and then... My voice caught in my throat. I started to choke. Dad filled the glass with water and handed it to me. I gulped it down thirstily. He put a hand on my shoulder. Grady, let's talk about it in the morning, okay? We're both too tired to think straight now. What do you say? That's a parent's way of saying, like, I've already made up my decision. I'm tired, and I'm tired of this argument. We'll talk about it in the morning. Hopefully when you wake up, I'll already have been to the pound. It wasn't Wolf, I cried stubbornly. I know it wasn't. In the morning, Dad repeated, his hand still on my shoulder. He held it there to comfort me, to steady me. I felt shaky. I was panting. My heart pounded. Yeah, okay, I agreed finally. In the morning. I made my way slowly to the room, but I knew I wouldn't sleep. He wakes up in the morning. Dad's already gone, but it was just to get materials to fix the pen, because last night he did a quick patch job with some cardboard. It's like, that's not going to fucking keep the deer in, much less a wolf out, buddy. But it was a temporary thing, so I'll let him slide on this one. Grady... He looks outside, sees Wolf playing outside with a ball. He's like, oh, Wolf's probably hungry. He's trying to eat this rubber ball. Like, he's probably just playing. Like, but Dad pulls up. Grady says, like, are you gonna still take Wolf to the kill pound? And Dad's like, yeah, like, the folks there in town are upset. They're like, Hermit's real friendly, would never kill anybody, but there's a lot of dead animals in the neighborhood. Ed Warner's still missing. Hermit totally safe. No wolves in Florida. Gotta be your dog.
Yeah. Hey, Dad does the math.
Dad is just, he's like, these townspeople, I don't know what these town people, like, sold him exactly, but he's 100% behind everything they tell him. Grady asks him again, real shrill, just the, and says, like, please, Joe, are you taking Grady to the kill pound? And Dad's like, yeah, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna hold him down while they bring the hammer down. Like, I'm just gonna hold Wolf. I'm gonna be like, you deserve this. Grady runs out to Wolf. He's like, Dad's gonna kill you. And then Grady's just like, well, fuck this horse shit. I'm not going to let my dad be a dog murderer. He's like, Grady, Wolf, you need to get out of here, boy. Run for the hills. And just like Harry and the Hendersons, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it gives...
I guess I kind of spoiled that. Huh?
No, it's all good.
Both Harry and the Hendersons and this book.
He gives Wolf a big shove. Run, boy, run. Get on out now. Get. And Dad's upset. Dad's like, oh, son of a bitch. Let's go kill that dog. He didn't get his chance. Grady saved it from the real monster, his own father. Yeah. He says, please don't come back, Wolf. But I tell you what, fast forward a whole bunch. They don't get into the falling out there, but they that night he hears some howls, and he looks outside, and lo and behold, there's his boy Wolf pacing outside, growling. Arr! Grady's like, oh shit, my dog. So he gets dressed, heads on down. Wolf heads towards the swamp. All right. Grady's like, he's leading us. It's like Lassie. It's like, someone's hurt. The barn's on fire. Where, girl? Lead us there. You're basically a dog ambulance. So he goes to follow Wolf.
A dog ambulance?
Your dog ambulance. You know how to respond to emergencies. Anyway, they go to follow Wolf. He says, I'm going to follow Wolf. I'm going to find out if he's a werewolf. This is what he says, which is fair. So that's what the whole purpose of this is. So he's going to find out if he's a werewolf. And so once out, he jumps off this well-lit porch, off his stoop into the darkness, realizes he can't see shit. And as soon as that happens, he hears footsteps pop, 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 approaching him from behind. Dum, dum, dum.
It's just Will.
Oh.
Simple Will, as everyone calls him. It's just old Simple Will.
Hey, Grady.
He heard the Howl's tool. Wow. He heard Howl's also, and he's just like, I want to invest. Oh, sorry. I want to investigate. There's wolves. Grady is just like, oh, thank God. Like, as brave, strangely brave as I am as a child in the wilderness, I would appreciate the company. Thank you, Will. I hope you don't turn out to be a werewolf.
Yeah.
Grady at one point is just like, I wish I brought a flashlight. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Although flashlights are notoriously unreliable, as we learned in Getting Dead House. Mm-hmm. But they're following the sound of Wolf's footprints. Like, they're like, Wolf went this way. Let's go through the swamp in the dark and no flashlight, following a dog. Wow. That's so many bad things in this plan.
Yeah.
What
are you, Bear Grylls? How are you going to track a dog in a swamp in the dark?
Are you drinking Corona too? Because I've also got Corona.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to get my limes out of the neck for the last hour.
I'm glad you take it seriously and don't just. I'm getting so southern. I need to stop drinking these. I'm on my 7th one. So, where are we at? Chapter 27. So, strangely, following a dog at night in the swamp, not the best idea. Will and Grady end up getting separated because Will's probably like, I hear the dog going this way. And Grady's like, I hear the dog going this way. Let's not talk to each other. And they both head off in different directions. Grady's just like, Will? Where are you at, Will? Here's rustling around him, which honestly in an R.L. Stine book could be your death or just a sibling about to fuck with you.
Nah.
Keeps calling for Will, but no one's answering back. Then the clouds open up and moonlight from the full moon comes down and exposes the hermit shack directly in front of him. And that's when Grady, I'm getting so southern. This is getting upsetting. I'm getting so down home. I'm not even from Florida. Florida.
Oh, fuck. The upsetting killed me, dude.
It's just real upsetting.
Get upset.
I'm a werewolf. I'm the werewolf. But then the howls start up once he sees the hermit shack. And the frightening sound tore through heavy silence. A horrifying wail so loud. I don't know why I've gone full fucking...
Horrifying wail.
horrifying. I thought it was my wife. She's like, yuck. So, a frightening sound tore through heavy silence. A horrifying wail. So, he's from Vermont too. That's the funniest
that is
thing.
the funniest thing.
I could be doing my New England accent, and that would be way more appropriate than what I'm doing right now. Right now. Frightening sound tore through heavy silence. A horrifying wail so loud, so nearby, rose on the still air, rose and then fell. Grady had to cover his ears because the sound was so loud, and he's now convinced that the hermit actually is the werewolf. Turns to run, but the hermit... Sorry, that was another Freudian slip. The hermit didn't burst out from behind a tree. It was the werewolf that burst from behind a tree, howls and shoves Gravy straight to the ground. And this time it actually is the werewolf. It's not Will. It's not Cassie. It's not Emily or his dad or his mom or Wolf. It is an actual, honest to God, werewolf has shoved him to the ground. Bum, bum, bum.
Holy fuck. A human face covered in wolf fur. And you can tell difference between wolf fur and coyote fur and fox fur. Because fox fur is a browser. Animal snout. Big animal snout, rows of wolf fangs. Not just the one, which would do. A row of wolf fangs, good enough amount of wolf fangs. We're talking multiples of rows. Like a theater seating chart with teeth. It turns out, Dylan, you're not going to believe this, bud. Even through the thick matted wolf fur, he could tell. He could recognize a face. It was fucking Will. Will! I screamed. I struggled to push him away, to squirm out from under, but he was too powerful. I couldn't move. Will, get off! He raised his fur-covered face to the moon and uttered an animal howl. Then, snarling out his rage, he lowered his beastly head and dug his fangs into my shoulder. Arsh! I let out a shriek of pain. Ah! Blinding flashes of red filled my eyes. I thrust out my hands, kicked my legs, struggled blindly to free myself. But he had animal strength. He was too much for me, too strong for me, way too strong. The flashing red fade had turned to black. Everything was fading to black. I could feel myself sinking down a black tunnel, sinking forever into deep, endlessly deep darkness. A loud growl brought me back. Bewildered, I gazed up to see Wolf leap onto Will. Will uttered a shrill howl. Everybody shrill. He uttered a shrill howl of anger. Ah! And turned to wrestle with the snarling dog. It's a dog wrestling match. I watched in stunned disbelief as they scrabbled over the ground. It is Scrabble. They did not play Scrabble, but they merely scrabbled over the ground, biting and clawing, raging at each other, growling and grunting. Will, it was you. It was you all along, I murmured, struggling to my feet. I gripped a tree trunk, which was sturdier than the one in the first book. The ground appeared to be sliding beneath me. The two creatures continued to battle, grunting and growling, as they clawed at each other, wrestling over the wet ground. By God, that's Undertaker's music! I knew it wasn't Wolf. I muttered aloud. I knew. And then, a deafening, high-pitched shriek. Everything's so shrill in this high-pitched shriek. It's like listening to a fucking AC/DC catalog.
Hey.
It's good. but it's good. Anyway, deafening, high-pitched shriek. It startled Grady. And he tumbled to his knees because he was startled. For some reason, he went that direction. He didn't jump. It wasn't a jump scare. It was a kneel scare. I looked up in time to see Will running away, fleeing on all fours through the tall weeds. Wolf followed close behind, snapping at Will's ankles, jumping on him, biting and clawing him as they ran. Then I heard Will utter another cry of pain, a wail of defeat. You could tell it was a wail of defeat, not a different kind. And as the anguished sound faded, I sank down into the blue-black darkness. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum.
In the very depths of unconsciousness, Grady hears, I'm the werewolf. Because it turns out, the swamp hermit finds the unconscious Grady and brings him home.
So, Grady, of course, has this whole tale to tell them about how, like, he was attacked by a werewolf, and the werewolf was Will, and, like, oh my goodness, Will's a werewolf! And Dad's just like, I told you once and for all, there's no fucking wolves in Florida. No wolves, no werewolves, just angry rabid dogs, so knock it off. So they go to Will's house. Well, they don't go. Dad goes to Will's house, and Dad's just like, yeah, it's another really weird, inexplicable thing, but we're just going to let this roll off our back. It turns out your friend Will has been living in an abandoned house for the last month or two, because there's no one else there. There's no furniture or anything. It's just oh well, it's just some wild feral child living in our neighborhood. Problem
Weird.
solved, because he's gone too. So...
Oh, good.
Yeah,
well,
but because it turns out that as part of the shenanigans that took place, the hermit tells them that he saw a wolf chase this beast away from, not a wolf or a coyote, because those don't live in Florida, but the dog wolf chased something away from Grady, and so the parents are like, well, obviously it wasn't Wolf who's murderous. Also, Wolf murders an entire fucking deer. Like, did they check to see if there's any blood on him? Because he's not like an actual professional criminal. If Wolf had killed a deer, he would just be drenched in blood, right? Like,
yeah, he wouldn't have put on he wouldn't have like stashed a glove near Kato Kalin's room. He would have been, evidence would have followed him.
This is not he's not a criminal mastermind. He's a dog named Wolf, which is quite frankly on the list of 10 most unoriginal names for a dog.
I would love to see an episode of Forensic Files about it.
I'm going to kick you from this channel. I don't know what will happen in terms of a podcast recording. I think it'll be fine, but I feel like you should be punished for what you just said. But we're so close to the end that I'm not going to do it. So, they decide to let Grady keep his dog that didn't do anything wrong, so I feel like maybe don't destroy an animal that didn't do anything wrong and don't treat it as a reward for the dog doing something. Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to read to you the last little bit of this book.
Oh, please. Okay.
This is the denouement. Almost an epilogue, if you will. That all happened nearly a month ago. Since then, Wolf and I have had a wonderful time exploring the swamp. I've gotten to know just about every inch of Fever Swamp. It's like my second home. Sometimes Wolf and I let Cassie come along exploring with us. She's kind of fun, even though she's always on the lookout for werewolves. I really wish she'd just drop the subject. I'm standing at my bedroom window now, watching the full moon rising over the distant trees. The first full moon in a month makes me think of Will. Will may be gone, but he changed my life. I know I'll never forget him. I can feel the fur sprouting on my face. My snout is expanding. My fangs are slouting out between my dark lips. Yes, when he bit me, Will passed the curse on to me. But I don't mind. I'm not upset. I mean, with Will out of the way, the swamp is now mine. All mine. I'm climbing out of my window now. There's Wolf waiting for me, eager to do some night exploring. I drop easily to the ground on all fours. I raise my fur-covered face to the moon and utter a long, joyful howl. Let's go, Wolf. Let's hurry to Fever Swamp. I'm ready to hunt.
Oh, man. What an ending, what an ending, what an ending. Now we're all werewolves.
Bum, bum, bum.
We did it. All right, man. What a ride that was. Kind of a fun ride. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of like the swampiness. I like the swamp.
I'm going to say, I know I love werewolves. I am a werewolf in our logo, in fact, in our yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm just a dummy.
And you look like Slappy, the ventriloquist.
Okay. All right.
That was genuine. I actually did. Sorry. No. Yep. Okay. Ooh. No, I'm okay. Just give me a second. Yep. Okay, we're good. But no, I enjoyed this one a lot. It went down real good, and I love the ending. Grady's just a fucking monster at the end of this book.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I like the monster. It's not technically a monster fight, but like dog versus werewolf was kind of cool because you'd always had this picture painted the whole book that Wolf kind of looked like. I mean, people were passing him off as a werewolf, so I'm imagining these two fierce beasts, one domesticated, knocks over lamps, and the other one out for blood, and they're just...
Well, to be fair, like...
I kind of like that.
The other werewolf, the first werewolf, managed to kill a rabbit, a heron, and a caged deer that's not in its natural habitat, and also an old man. So I feel like wolf and werewolf, they had a good matchup there. I actually really did. Like, there was a couple of moments where it's just like, really? We're getting lost again a chapter later? That felt a little patty.
Yeah, it made up for it with some, like, fun. I thought the kids bickered in a way that was believable, but also, like, funny. Like, they had me cracking up.
I love the stuff where it's just, like, the teenager in the next room being like, your dog's a werewolf. Like, just that kind of, like, yeah.
Stuff like that.
That felt real.
The back and forth with Will and Cassie was always kind of fun. Like, they were kind of bullying each other, but in a fun way. I thought it did a decent job of concealing Will. I mean, like, I always had my suspicions the whole time because, you know, he did that thing again where he gives you 3 threats. He's like, it's the dog, it's the hermit. I mean, and Will, he's not really even a threat the whole book, but he's suspicious. And you're just kind of waiting for, you know, the most obvious one's usually not going to be it. The hermit's completely out. You kind of hope it's not Wolf. I could see that, like, maybe he had a chance at some point. But I thought it just did a really good job of sort of balancing the mystique. A lot of the cliffhangers were kind of lame. I think I'm going to give it 5 unreferenced giant mushrooms from the swamp out of 7 giant mushrooms from the swamp. 5 out of 7. I feel like it was pretty good. Maybe a little too predictable in some ways, but pretty good. Good characters.
So, I enjoyed this one. I feel like it felt lean, like, other than some parts in the middle. Like, it went fast for me in terms of just like boom, 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 boom. We got Wolf and Wolf. And I will also say there was a movie that came out in the 90s. I was looking up just now to see if it came out before or after this book because someone stole from someone, I feel like, and it was the movie. It came out in 1996 called Bad Moon. It's a pretty insane werewolf movie. It's not very great. It stars Mariel Hemingway. But there's a subplot of the movie is that the child's dog is blamed for the werewolf attacks in the movie. But it's actually Uncle Ted. Spoiler alert. I mean, you know that from the beginning of the movie. But it is funny that there is a werewolf movie that comes out 3 years later that's literally a major plot point. I think they have to break the dog out of the pound at a point. Is a dog is blamed for the crimes of the werewolf. And the movie's so fucking lazy, it's gotta be. So, like, stolen. Just like, I read a Goosebumps. Let's turn this into a motion picture. I would give it 4 out of 5 the Howlings, but not actually any of the movies in that series except for the first one, because they're all pretty dog. I would give it 4 out of 5 Howls. Ooh.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, I thought
that's good.
It was lean.
That's pretty good number of Howls.
It wasn't terrifying. The scenes of the monster, the animals being torn apart, kind of makes up for the lack of like there's no transformation scene, and you feel like there's a brief where he's just like, oh, this fur's coming out of my face. Like, I'm not counting that because like there's no like oh, he bulged out the muscles and like you just
right like Hulk's
So I feel like that was a missed opportunity on his part, but maybe it's just like I can't do a real transformation scene, so let's just murder as many animals as I can get away with. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a lot.
Pretty cool. There is some small trivia, nothing too crazy about this book, but the little taglines on the front and the back are references of other famous fairy tales. So the front tagline, obviously in reference to the 3 Little Pigs, it's, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?" And on the back, the reference to Little Red Riding Hood, "What big teeth you have!" Little ham-fisted, but I appreciate it all the same because it is a kid's book, so it is kind of appropriate. But not a lot of other interesting facts about this one. Usually you get a good little nugget here and there, but this one was just your regular old werewolf time in the swamp. You know that old trope.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they turned it into like kind of the murder mystery kind of aspect, like who's the werewolf kind of deal, which you kind of see with like Silver Bullet, for example, which is a Stephen King novella. It was made into a movie with Gary Busey, and also was
Busey?
Gary Busey. Yes, thank you. I was just... But this is even more embarrassing now. That movie was featured in the first episode of Split Up. So, go check that out. If you wanted to let us know that we've mispronounced Gary Busiek's name... Oh, that's what I did. I took Kurt Busiek and Gary Busey, and I made them one person. As you always do. I never do that. If you would like to let us know that we've mispronounced Gary Busey's name... or Jake Busey, for that matter, who is in the movie Identity. I'm compensating for the fact that I got his name wrong. Can you tell? You can email us at wegotgoosebumps@gmail.com. That is We Got Goosebumps with an S, multiple goosebumps. No one just gets one goosebump because that's weird. Podcast@gmail.com. And just in case you're confused that you thought that was the entire email address, it is wegotgoosebumps@gmail.com.
Yes, it is. So long. You can find the show on Twitter, too. We still have that. At Say Cheese and Pod. I'll also say the network as a whole. Sometimes I'll drop little tidbits from each podcast, so you can follow that at Polymedia Network over on Instagram, if you prefer Instagram these days. I don't know what you people prefer. But you can also support the show and the network at large on Patreon, patreon.com/Polykill. Find a tier that works for you over there. We're dropping these about a week early every time they're put out, so you can be cool. Get early stuff. Who doesn't want to do that? Early stuff. All right, let's get a little teaser for the next book. What do we got?
Well, the next book is You Can't Scare Me, which is, I feel like, a pretty ballsy way to name your children's scary book series. It's like, you can't scare me. This... The visual comedy of you trying to continue to get lime slices out of your Corona bottle is amazing, but doesn't really work on the podcast. So we're just going to skip right along to...
Courtney is a total show-off. She thinks she's so brave. She's always making Eddie and his friends look like wimps. Nothing can scare Courtney. Or so she says. Eddie's decided he's had enough. He's going to scare Courtney once and for all. He'll lure her down to Muddy Creek, because he knows she actually believes those silly rumors. Rumors about creepy mud monsters are lurking there. It's just too bad that Eddie doesn't believe the rumors too, because they might just be true.